Chapter 2: The Road to Fame. The next morning, after the Arab Schools Olympics, Majed returned to his office at the company, feeling pleased with himself. He thought he had completed his task perfectly and never suspected that something might have gone wrong. He sat at his desk and prepared a file about who he believed were the three champions, Hassan, Khaled, and Marwan, to send to the director, Omar, who was still busy with his father's health situation. In Hassam's file, Majed wrote, "Hossam, tall and sturdy, looks strong." These words were written with enthusiasm by Majed, who didn't realize that Hossam wasn't really a sports champion, but just an ordinary young man who liked to show off his strength to his friends. On the other side of the city, Hossam was sitting in his room, looking at the medal he had received due to an organizational mistake. The idea of participating in a commercial made him feel proud. "Maybe this is my chance to become famous," he said to himself as he imagined himself shining as a star on TV. Elsewhere, Khaled was sitting in a small library surrounded by the books he loved. Khaled, with his short stature and large glasses, was a smart and knowledgeable young man, but he struggled with low self-confidence. He always tried to prove himself in unconventional ways, often failing when trying to apply his scientific theories in real life, which put him in embarrassing situations. Nevertheless, Khaled felt that this medal he received might be the beginning of something new in his life. "Maybe I can use this opportunity to prove to myself and others that I can achieve success in a different way," he said to himself with a smile. As for Marwan, he was in a small kitchen, helping his mother prepare food. Marwan was of average height and had a chubby build, but he was cheerful and spontaneous. He loved food passionately. Marwan didn't care much for sports, but the idea of appearing in a commercial tempted him, especially if the commercial was related to food. "I'll be a star in this commercial, and I'll show everyone that loving food isn't a bad thing," Marwan said to himself as he tasted one of the new recipes he had created. After sending the file to the director, Majid sat back, confident that everything was going smoothly. Meanwhile, Omar was at the hospital with his father and didn't have time to review the file in detail. As the days passed, preparations for the commercial moved quickly. The Three Takhatikh received official invitations to travel to the island where the commercial would be filmed. They couldn't believe it when they received their plane tickets and travel information. It was the first time they would be traveling to such a faraway place, and their hearts were filled with a mix of excitement and nervousness. At home, Hossam tried to convince his parents to let him travel. "This is my chance to become famous. I won't waste it," Hossam said eagerly. Despite their concern, his parents eventually agreed to let him go, after making sure he understood the need to be responsible. Khaled, on the other hand, was very excited about the idea, but was afraid his grandfather wouldn't allow him to travel. "This isn't the right time to travel, my boy. Your studies are more important," his grandfather said firmly. But after Khaled insisted and convinced him that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, his grandfather finally agreed, on the condition that Khaled would focus on his studies after returning. At Marwan's house, there wasn't much objection. His mother was happy that her son would be traveling for the first time, but she advised him to be careful and take care of himself. "Don't forget to eat well and take care of yourself," she said, smiling as she bid him farewell. The Three Takhatikh finally boarded the plane and sat together. The plane was getting ready to take off, and each of them had questions in their hearts about what awaited them on the island. They knew this wasn't just a trip. It was an adventure that would test their friendship and abilities in ways they hadn't expected.